Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, hello, how are you? And welcome to our next episode of GabTalks, Success Tips from Experts. I am Gabriella, and today I get to bring to you guys Zola de Firmian. Oh my goodness, I am super excited. She's got some fabulous content to share with us today. How are you today, Zola?
Awesome. Just really glad to be here too.
I'm super glad to have you here as well. So let's jump in and tell us all about your expertise.
I am excellent at being a very fallible human, and I'm proud of it. I think that one of the things that really matters the most is to have comfort in your skin and a sense of authenticity. That's what I look for. That's where I find the most value when other people are sharing. The other part is that I have a creative background. I've been in design and construction, but I am a consultant and coach for creative and visionary minded people because of the ability to bridge. When we can synthesize really divergent parts of the world for others, that's a huge service.
And I love that you mentioned authenticity, because I feel like I finally, after many years, stepped into my own true authenticity. And so many of us spend so many years trying to find it, and often we don't step into that. So I love that you work with people and that you resonate with people with their authenticity.
Thank you. Yes. So I do have a lot of other skills. I have a fairly long lifespan so far in business, a lot of creative business venturing. I had multiple startups that didn't work before I figured out what did work.
Let's talk about your background in those startups and all the things that you did that got you here today.
I'm happy to. When I was pretty young, I had two things that really drove me, always looking for harmony. Then this other piece of when I was doing something, inspired by something, there was a little part of my mind, and I think it was because I came from an entrepreneurial background. My dad and his family before him had been entrepreneurs. I was always looking at how can I take this interesting inspiration and thing and make it an opportunity for others that I can sell and make it an opportunity for me. And I've done that from a really young age. Business can have that creative spark that makes it fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know when we were talking before the interview, you and I talked about your influences, which is very relevant to what you just shared. In fact, one of them is an influence that I turn to as well sometimes. Will you please share with us about them?
Yeah, well, I naturally chose a man and a woman. And the man was Brendon Burchard, who I think you had said you really are very familiar. One of his best books that I've enjoyed is Habits of High Performance Habits. Anyway, he has just a great deep heart. His life experience was in a horrible accident, and finding how to bring his enthusiasm for life back and also to help others. And he's really good, and he's incredibly successful and smart, and he conveys a lot of value.
Yeah, one of the things that I remember most from Brendon Burchard that I actually use in my daily life now is I heard him talking about how to work in the most effective time blocks, and research shows 52 minutes. And so he sets his clock for 50 minutes, and then he takes a 10-minute break. And that means getting up and leaving whatever he's doing. And if he's in the middle of it, that 2-minute gives him, but he basically stops whatever he's in the middle of doing. And then he takes 8 to 10-minute break before he goes back. And I use that in my daily life now, and I find that creates a lot more efficiency and a lot less overwhelm.
That's a great thing that you mentioned about Brendon, and it's one of the things that I've had to learn how to marshal my energy, because I'm highly creative and my mind really wants to do all these things at once. So one of the things that really makes a difference is learning, and I actually studied not only motivation, but brain-based education. Brain-based, how do we bring our optimal awareness right now to be our best self. And to do that as a teacher, to do that as a student, to do that as a business owner, as a mom, kid, whatever, we need those lessons. And thank heavens there are people like Brendan who are sharing the research. It's really valuable. So a lot of things like that. One of my taglines is optimal business, vibrant life.
Yeah.
And I think we don't need to settle.
Yeah. And then you were also saying there was a second person. So Brendan was the male energy, and then you also had a female energy that was very influential.
Yeah, I would say not as deeply, but JJ Virgin inspires me when I look at what she has created from having started as a single mom trying to figure out how to make things work. She created a path, and then she shared that path for other women. And one of the things, so she started out doing a diet, the JJ Virgin diet or the Virgin diet, I think, but she emphasizes the value of masterminds, which is one of the things that I'm very passionate about, and has some wonderful information and stories about why it is important and valuable. But for women coming together, collaborating, bringing their best out in one another, empowering themselves and each other, it's a beautiful thing.
I love that. And I too am a huge fan of masterminds. I actually participate in a weekly mastermind, and then I'm also involved in some facilitated masterminds. I think that it really opens us up to all kinds of possibilities that we never would have thought about before, and gives us a place to share our own expertise and skill set with other people as well.
And it shines a light that's a different angle on what you already know. And light bulbs go off. It just helps amplify what we have. So much more in us than we know, right?
Yeah.
So much more capacity, and our minds and beings are such amazing instruments. I mean, fabulous what's possible. And just to be with others who stimulate and nurture and honor what you're creating, things happen that are just mind-blowing, really great business progress, but also revelation that changes your life personally, and great friendships. It could be amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them.
This is Tony Stark-Polici, copywriter, marketing consultant, and author. And I have a question for you. If you could take $20 and turn it into 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, would you do it? Well, you can. And it's not through gambling. It's not investing in the stock market. It's by buying this book. That's right, my book. This was voted number 9 out of the top 100 best copywriting books ever written. And I wrote it for you, for business owners, to help you write better emails, better sales copy, better advertisement, to communicate better in all of your marketing and business communications. This book will change your business and your life. Try it. You're going to love it.
Introducing Boost by GoV, a high-end, first-in-class fuel catalyst tablet that is taking the world by storm. How would you like to save money on gas and go further on every single tank? The new MPG is here. Get more miles per gallon, boost power and performance, and reduce emissions and exhaust. What would you say if you could pay less and make fewer trips to the gas pump? It's time to wake up and get on the move. What are you waiting for? Get more out of life and join the GoV experience today. Scan the QR code or check the show notes for more information.
So one of the things that I ask our experts that when I'm interviewing them is to tell us something that you might go back to your younger self, and one tip that you would give. We can all use that one piece of guidance when we were like 18 or 20 years old, or when we're brand new in a career shift. So what do you think you would share as one piece of guidance?
The thing that's coming to mind is a leaf. You know how a leaf has, you look at the underside and there's all the vein. The underside of the leaf and the top side, there are two things. One is don't believe everything you think. Our brains, and we're very flexible, adaptable, and we also change a lot. And so what I can think about something right this moment is not necessarily the most empowering thought, and it may not even be the truest thought. So just remember, don't believe everything that runs through your head. When something triggers or makes you doubt yourself, just put it aside a little bit. Remember, you don't have to believe it all. And the other side of the leaf is, I really deeply know this to be true. The universe is a friendly place. We get supported. Life supports us. And just to look outside of yourself sometimes when you're not sure, because the universe is a friendly place. You can find support. You can find what you need. You will, if you're open for it.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And it's really interesting because we talk about dichotomy and two sides of things. And yeah, that's really, really beautiful. So I know that you do a ton of consulting and coaching, and you guide people to their better selves. I would like you to share with us today a few tips that someone could go right now and take action on and help them get that much closer to their success.
I think one of the most important tips is that you do need to be aligned with what's real and of greatest value for yourself. And so if you're trying to do something just to make a living, it's understandable. Sometimes we are in a situation in life that's it,
Right.
but the intent needs to keep aligning your life more and more. Time passes. We keep making shifts. So keep making the movement forward and listening to your heart and finding what's most in alignment and can make money and can really make a difference for others. So when you find those things, you still have to work hard, but you also have to have fun. So I tend to be actually really serious unless I tap into my joyful side. And I have a lot of deep joy. What happened to me growing up was that I was a kid who was too alone. And so we lived where there was a lot of nature. And it seemed like every time we moved, we would be at the end of a cul-de-sac with a field that had oak trees and a creek or something like that. And I actually almost feel like I was raised a little bit by trees or by nature. I just became such an observer, but also such an appreciator, and so grateful for the fact that life is much bigger than our little human momentary stories. And everything weaves together to create a harmonious, mutually balancing whole. So everything that feels chaotic, or it's part of a greater whole. So to hold that vision for myself, like, let me tell you some things I don't relate to. I think these are really important. Play the day, hustle and grind, crush the competition. So we're going through massive time change right now, a time of change, and it's not like it's completely new. A lot of people, I was pretty young when I realized the whole story that men had created in the business world was not a pretty picture. My dad was a workaholic. My elder brother was a doctor, workaholic, died young. I personally, it was a high price that I paid, but we pay a really high price if we follow those kind of business guidelines or notions about what life is. And not only us, our families and our communities. So how about this? One whole beautiful day. If you can think about today at the beginning and give yourself the gift of simple planning, like not 20 things or 45 on a to-do list, which actually literally your brain starts to shut down just by looking at it. You won't be at your best if you do that. So Jack Canfield, who has a great influence also, talks about the 5, and I love the high 5. So, don't have more than 5 things on your in front of you that you've set your intention for the day. If you do 5 things well today, that's incredible. Making a little plan, really important.
If I have more than 5 things on my list, and some of them are pretty small and easy to get through, would you recommend that I do 5, cross them off the list, and then start a new list? Or once I cross them off the list, add to the list so that I'm never having more than 5 at one time in front of me?
Yeah, there are some things that will help you with that. I don't mean that we can't do 40 or 100 things in a day. Sometimes we will, right? For example, I need to get my landing page done. To do that, that's got like a bunch of mini steps. And also there's the promoting, and then there's the creative time. And those are really different functions of mind for me, for most of us. So when I'm creating a plan, I don't start with a list ever. I use a mind map, because a mind map is naturally associating what needs to be connected, just like our brains do. That's one of the things that's on my website, that I have a transforming time toolkit. I have a lot of different things that help people think about how to optimize this day, and also not pay the price of a dreadful life because you're working so dang hard and not getting things that need to happen done. So prioritizing, right? So what you're asking me about, all those things, I would be for sure spending 10 minutes, if you have that many activities, giving your mind a chance to, in a mindful, restful state, reflect and choose your priorities and keep those in front of you, because they will pull you forward and inspire you to keep going for all the stuff you have to get done.
On each episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hello, world. This is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer, and I am also a consultant from Z World Webs. Today, I want to highlight the Spiro Foundation, because this nonprofit organization is truly dedicated to arresting the spread of human trafficking. This includes prevention, education, recovery, and of course, technology. If you would like to learn more about the Spiro Foundation, please visit their website at www.spiro-foundation.org. And again, their website is www.spero-foundation.org, to which Spiro is Latin for I hope. Or you may scan their QR code. The link can be found in the show notes. So with that being said, my name is Z from Z World Webs, and let's develop a website Z World is waiting for. Thank you.
So you and I could go on in conversation all day, but I am going to need to bring this interview to a close. And I think other people need to reach out to you and find out how you can help them with your gifts and how they can grow as well. So will you please share with us how they can reach out to you?
Yeah, I am on LinkedIn. If you just Google my name, Zola de Firmian, and Facebook and Instagram, they can find me at my website, creativemomentum.com. So it's creative with a dash.
I'm going to make sure that all of those links are in the show notes and in the description so that people can reach out to you. I know you do courses and you have consulting and you have lots and lots of gifts to offer to everybody out there listening to help them grow their business. So will you share with us, you mentioned that you have a PDF that's available to our audience to download.
Yes, I call it a genius sheet, and it's just visually pleasing. It reminds us how to be centered. Ask the universe, ask for the support that you need. It's a genius sheet. It really has a way for you to adapt it to yourself, customize it, and it's really powerful. One of the things I'll say on the bottom, which I don't see mentioned very often, is habit bundling. And if you don't know what it is, you can Google it, but it's a reminder to do that.
That's awesome. I love it. So you guys click the link, download the PDF, reach out to Zola. She's got so much value to give you guys. It is absolutely worth having a conversation and seeing how she can support you and maybe get yourself some coaching and guidance. Make sure that you click the subscribe button, and don't forget to set the reminder so that you know when our next episode is publishing.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.